Hello everybody, welcome back to Let's Play Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Trials and Tribulations. Last time John Armstrong took the stand, we managed to break through his testimony, and the tiger will be taking the stand shortly. Let's go. So we're finally going to see the tiger on the stand. You've almost got this case won now, Nick. I wish I could agree. Huh? When I cross-examined Mr. Armstrong just now, he said he was just doing what the tiger told him to do. But Godot picked up on it, remember? He pointed out that without proof, we don't know if what he testified is the truth. Oh, I see where this is going. You mean, you think Mr. Armstrong was lying? I don't know. But if that's the line the prosecution takes, we could be in trouble. I get the feeling that we don't have the case-making evidence we're going to need. Nah. Because... Alright, I think they're going... Like, how I think this is going to go, they're going to be like, well, can you prove he faked your identity? Bam. Well, can you prove he even went into the restaurant? Bam. Well, then what reason would he have to kill the victim? Bam. It's these I have no clue what we're going to do with. What are we going to do with Dick's weenies? Hey, pal. Speaking of... Detective Gumshoe. What are you so jumpy about, Detective? Your hair is standing on end. Hey, that's the pot on the kettle black, little miss. Top knot. It's not a top knot. Never mind about the hair. Just calm down, alright? I can't stand still and I don't have a job to do. I kind of get wound up. No kidding. Gotta have something you need me to do, pal. Anything. Well, hey, I'm gonna take a jog back down to the precinct. I can get some prints analyzed for you if you've got an hour. An hour? The trial will reconvene by then. But Nick, we still don't have a really decisive piece of evidence, right? True. That was some kind of trump card to pull out of the bag. We're really stuck. You said you could get some fingerprint analysis done in an hour? You bet. In that case, would you mind checking the prints on this for me? Ooh. We have unidentified prints on this. But who would that... This makes the most sense. If you're going back to the station anyway, could you find out whose prints are on this? Oh, hey. That's the small bottle I gave back to you this morning, right? Yeah, I think it's time we solved the last mystery of who the prints on it belong to. Sure thing, pal. Actually, that's been gnawing at me, too. Small bottle given to Detective Gumshoe. Okay, I'll get this off to the lab right away. Just make sure you don't lose the case before I get back. This is pretty much the final showdown, I guess. It's time to separate the phonies from the real guys. I was expecting a one-liner, okay. Court will now reconvene. Mr. Godot, did you find this Furio Tigre? I even tamed him for you. It was a 3-cup job, no problem. Tamed him? The guy's name may be Furio Tigre, but come on. He's pretty lively. Be careful. He still bites. Very well. Please show Mr. Tigre to the stand. Witness. Please state your name and occupation for the... Don't hide under the table, Maya. There's room for me down there, too. Would you mind? What you say to me? Nothing. I didn't say nothing, honest. Who could have guessed that fear would induce a bad Brooklyn accent in the judge? I got business to take care of, you hear me? So who the hell caught me into this hole? Was it you, Spiky? No, of course not. It was the judge. Your Honor? Oh dear, I seem to have dropped my pen. Where on earth is it? Don't mind me, just carry on with the proceedings as normal. That's it. We're doomed. Maybe you didn't hear me. I said, who the hell was it that called me in here? There's no need to shout. We can all hear you. What do you say? There's no point struggling. You're caught in a snare. The relentless snare of the law. Unfazed. And I'm the one that hauled you in. Yeah. Too cool. Don't let him get the better of you, Nick. Let's start with the basics. You know about the incident in question, correct? Incident? I don't know nothing about no stinking incident, mask boy. You mean you didn't attend the previous trial of Maggie Bird? Maggie who? I've got more important things to do than watch courtroom dramas. Of course. Well, perhaps you could give us your testimony then. Please tell us about what you did on the day of the murder. Phoenix Wright. You was the one who set this up, didn't you? You was gonna regret the day you ruffled the tiger's fur. You hear what I'm saying? Maybe I should have brought a diaper with me today. Get a grip, Nick, says the person hiding under the desk. I don't know nothing about no murder. I was tied up with business in December last year. Spent all of my time in my office. I got whales lined up to borrow cash from Tinderlinda every single day. You was want to check my alibi, just ask via letter. Ah, at last, I found my pen. Very well then, Mr. Wright. Your cross-examination, please. What is it? Please, witness, if you can refrain from shouting out like that. I know the kind of games that guy in the blue plays. That lowlife ain't no lawyer. He just punches away at stupid details till he wins. It's not wrong. Lowlife? Me? Listen up, smarty. Every time you ask me something that don't relate to this case, I'm gonna bill you $50,000 and you's gonna borrow the cash from me. That's one loan contract I refuse to sign. And don't think it ain't gonna hurt when you get tangled with the tiger. Ha! I love a good spectator sport. Just a minute. That's really not. This witness is... How can I put it? A hungry tiger roaming the urban jungle. Get on his bad side and he'll bite everyone's heads off. Yours too. Very well. I have no choice but to impose a penalty system here. You better be listening. I said I got business to take care of. Big business. If I don't split now, I ain't gonna catch my bus. The court will impose a penalty for any irrelevant pressing of witness testimony. Keep that in mind as you begin your cross-examination, Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor. You can do it, Nick. Come out from under there already, would you, Maya? We don't need her. But alright, I'm gonna be, penalized for any pointless, pressing. One moment, please. It is now an hour and 30 minutes into this recording. I was away for that long. I was away for the length of what this episode will probably be. Hoo boy. Hoo boy. The issue that's going around with... Oh, well, I can't say the name because YouTube might demonetize me, so, the issue that's going on with, Steve Carino is... It's rough. Because now we got people working remotely who's never worked remotely before, and, I'm afraid. I'm afraid of these calls, because it's going to be rough. Anyway, we can't do any needless testing tied up with business, or not testing, no needless pressing. So tied up with business, spent all of your time in your office. No, sir. No, sir. No. The witnesses... You've got to be fucking me. He had to meet with him in December. That's okay. I'm mad about that one. Hey, check my alibi. Just ask Violetta. Okay, safety saving here, because I'm... Or is it... Or let me guess, they're going to be like, is this important? And then say, yes, it's very important. And they'll be like, okay, adjust your testimony. That's probably what it's going to be. Are you sure about that? We're talking about 1 month ago, you know? You see these teeth? That's how sharp my secretary is. Sharp? Is he talking about Viola Cadaverini? She writes everything in my scheduler. December, mainly in the office. That's what it says, so that's where I was. It seems like a rather sketchy schedule. There he goes again. What the tiger did all December isn't the issue. What's important is what he was doing on the day of the murder. So now what? Press harder. Mr. Tigre, what do yous want? If you wouldn't mind going into a bit more detail. Objection. This is a dead end, Trite, and you know it. Remember the rules. No, it's essential that we establish the witness's alibi accurately. I agree. The victim was killed on December 3rd. Were you in the office that day too? Maybe yous ain't listening. Of course I was. I never set foot outside. I had meetings all day with a bunch of cats wanting to do business with me. I ain't never seen that young kid before. I do believe the witness's last statement was important. Mr. Godot, if you could please. Mr. Tigre, the court asks you to add that last statement to your testimony. Don't let an animal beat you. Be a man, Your Honor, and ask him yourself. The day you was talking about, I was in the office too. I never saw that kid before. Okay, now we present that. Alright, fair enough, fair enough. Mr. Tigre, you claim you didn't know Mr. Glenn Elg, but it appears that Mr. Elg knew you. What? Mr. Elg left this little note in his calendar. Meet with the tiger. Dated December 3rd. December 3rd? That's the day of the murder. So, Mr. Tigre, I submit that you did indeed know one Mr. Glenn Elg, because on the very day of the incident, you met with him. Grah. Ha ha ha. Not bad. You was actually not bad. Sorry? I was just messing with yous to see how good you were. Did you hear that, Nick? He said you're not bad. That's one compliment I can do without. Plus, he's lying through his teeth. Witness, please remember that you're under oath. Lies will not be tolerated. You was calling me a liar? Is that what you doing? Shaggy. So you're saying that you are claiming to have never seen that kid before is the truth? I said I'm dead serious. You better believe that's the truth. Ha. And I'd say that gives me time to enjoy another cup of pure magic, or pure black magic. That is, while you testify for the court again, Mr. Tigre. Oh yes, would you mind indulging the court, witness? He never actually met the victim. It's gotta be a lie right there. It's time I nailed this guy. I'm gonna catch this tiger by his toe. That was bad. I ain't no liar. I never met Glenn Elg. There was some lame guy with that name, though. Wanted to borrow cash from me. I set up a meeting with the guy at my office, 10 to Linda. I waited around for him, but he ain't never showed. I ain't never even been to that trade bin joint use here. Oh, I got him. I see. That all seems perfectly logical. You had arranged to meet with the victim, but he didn't show up. I've heard it's pretty hard to keep appointments when you're dead. Very well. You may begin your cross-examination, Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor. Didn't I tell you I got a big deal going down today? I ain't gonna make my bus now. I'm gonna have to take the express train. That bill's going straight to you, right? Yeah. Don't worry. I'm gonna assume we're still on no reckless pressing rules. So, I'm just gonna go ahead and go all the way to the end. Wait around for me, ain't never showed. I ain't never been to that Tribulations joint. Never. Not even once. Not even once. I was in my office the day that went down. I didn't put no poison in no kid's coffee, capiche? Do you think he really didn't meet Glen Elk? Not likely. Because I'm convinced this guy's behind the whole thing. So you mean the whole testimony he just gave us a lie? Of course. So we can't afford to give him time to think of ways to plug the leaks in it. Gotta nail him while I still can. Oh, we're not on, those rules for this one? Was because he missed the train, or missed the bus? Well, regardless, we found this in Tenderlinda. They're Tribulations matches. I heard they're very good. Matches, that is. Mr. Tigray, is there something you'd like to tell the court about these matches? Matches? What you was talking about? We found them in your office at Tenderlinda. They're from that restaurant. What? If you've really never been to Tribulations before, what was a book of the restaurant's matches doing on your desk? You's been stupid around my stuff now too, wise guy. What are you, my ball and chain? Ain't no broad controlling me. Order, order. Well, witness? I think it's time you started telling us the truth, don't you? I'm sorry, I'm terribly sorry, forgive me. I ain't no pussycat. I don't go back on what I said. But okay, I was at that joint that day. What? But listen good, alright? I might have been there, but I still never met that kid. Well, well. Looks like an order just came in for another testimony. I'm this close to proving it was him. He did meet Glen Elk that day, and he did put poison in his coffee. He must have. Is Godot helping us out here? I was supposed to meet with the kid at the restaurant that afternoon. When I opened the door to the joint, I saw one ugly scene. The guy was laid out over the table, stiff as concrete. Figured if the place wasn't hot already, it was gonna be, so I split. Heard the cop sirens on my way out and I went straight back to my office. Ooh, I got nothing there. I see. You didn't actually meet with them in the end, then. Well, Mr. Wright, your cross-examination, please. Yes, Your Honor. Hold it. If I wait around here any longer, I ain't even gonna make the normal express. No more stupid questions. Ha. No problem. Anytime Tripe presses you on something irrelevant, I'll see he pays a penalty. Mr. Godot, that's my job. Your job is to slam that little hammer of yours and call a guilty verdict. So do it. Yes, sir. The special express ain't cheap, right? Just so you know since you's paying. Oh, man. Doesn't the rule of law mean anything around here? Alright. I'm gonna be careful on this one. Supposed to meet with the kid at the restaurant that afternoon. Opened the door to the joint, I saw one ugly scene. Guy was laid out over the table, stiff as concrete. Figured if the place wasn't hot already, it was going to be, so I split. Heard the cop siren on my way out, went straight back to my office. Well, Nick, what do you think? He's running out of ways to avoid the truth. Need to press him fast before he has time to think things through. Gotta come right back at him with a contradiction. Be careful what you press him on, though, or you'll get penalized, okay? That gave me no tips. Alright, so he said he went straight home. Or went straight to the office. Oh my god, None of these will grant me anything. Wow, guess we could bring this up? Like, well, why wouldn't you go to check in on this? Oh, man, one moment, please. Oh, this was found at Tender Lender. But what would I press on? Ooh, Okay, that's truth. We can stick with that. We can stick with that. I'm gonna press. Did you do anything before you left? So you didn't actually set foot inside the restaurant then? The tiger is a busy cat. I don't hang around for no one. I ain't got time to be caught up in no murder investigation. So, when exactly did you pick up the matches? There are matches just inside the front door. Our detective friend wound up in trouble with the chef after taking 5 books home. Poor Gumshoe. It's almost enough to make a man cry. Oh. Wait, so I don't get in trouble? Is it only if I press harder then? Oh, then I could have been pressing, even though, but I mean, I have kind of been on point. You went straight back? Did a bout of guilt suddenly hit you for what you did? What you was trying to say? You trying to tell me you ain't never been guilty of nothing? We all have our crosses to bear. We all have to swallow the dark secrets we hide. Like this. The courtroom's not exactly the place to talk about dark secrets, is it? Seems you've done it again, Mr. Wright. Another relevant line of questioning. No, it's not! Yeah, thank you! Well, I always gotta get... Okay, but the fact that they didn't actually penalize me... This is the only thing I can think of. You've got to be kidding me. Okay, unless we're going to use that for the motive? Huh. You mean you saw Glen Elg's dead body? Guess I did, but I only saw him from behind. He was wearing some raggy bit of cloth he called a hat. And what time was this? I don't know. Huh? You know what winds me up more than anything else in the world? Watches. Round watches. I ain't gonna pollute my paws with some ticking henpecker. Out of interest, Mr. T. Gray, what winds you up the second most? Huh? What do you think? Square watches. Is this guy for real? Look, all I needed to know was that something bad was going down in that place. they didn't get me on that either. But yeah, See, when I came back, I just started like going through again, like what I have to be missing something here, and yeah, this and this were two things that they didn't get me on. So I guess these are relevant questions or relevant lines to go down. The joint saw one ugly scene. The guy was laid out over the table. But I genuinely don't know what I would present here. I mean, we've already presented this. I don't think we would present it again so close. Because we even established in this one that like, I never set foot in the restaurant. He just grabbed the matches right there by the door. So I don't know. I'm drawing a complete blank here. Testimony won't be necessary. Oh yeah, because where the door is situated. Yeah, because there's a wall right there. So that means he had to, like, actually go in. I guess we would present that there instead of here then. Okay, alright. Took me a minute to think that one through. You're something of a loan collecting pro, aren't you, Mr. Tigre? No one escapes the tiger's clutches. Well, I'm something of a lie detecting pro. And no one escapes the Phoenix's clutches. I think it's time we got something straight. What's this, Trite? A new line of irrelevant questioning. These are the floor plans of the crime scene. You say you were standing at the entrance, Mr. Tigre. From there, your field of vision would have covered an area something like this. Indeed, the witness would have had a clear view of the victim's seat. Isn't that what I just said? Saw the back of the kid's head. Unfortunately for you, that is not possible. If the court would think back, you'll remember that between each of the tables is a partition. Yep, a tall partition. Why, that's true. Now look at the plans again. Truth is painfully obvious. From the entrance, the field of vision of any customer walking in ends here. He's sweating. So, from the entrance of Trey Bien, you couldn't have seen the victim's seat. But you did see the victim that day because you met with him. Objection. Wrong. Have you forgotten the old man's testimony yesterday? The victim was alone at his table. But did you forget what we were talking about earlier about the staging? But the defense just proved that point to be moot. The victim, witnessed by Mr. Kudo, was not Glenn Elg, but a fake. What? In order to have Mr. Kudo falsely testify, the real killer posed as the victim he had just killed and acted out a charade. That will do. This trial has gone on long enough without the obvious question being answered. Who exactly was this real killer who impersonated the victim? You say the killer murdered Glenn Elg, and then impersonated his victim in a performance for Victor Kudo? In that case, Mr. Wright, reveal the identity of this criminal to the court. I mean... the only options we have here, like, she's our defense. You just took the body and hid it in the kitchen. Obviously not you. Not you. You're the only one. Obviously, the killer is Furio Tigre. No one else could have done it. What? Well, witness? Yeah, haha. Now that's cute. You think you can pin this on the tiger? Maybe you don't understand. The tiger is king of the jungle. So I dares you to say it again. Come on, you got the guts. Actually, the king of the jungle is the lion. You can't threaten me, Mr. Tigre. It's the defense. Go ahead and tell the witness, Mr. Wright. Oh my god. Mr. Wright! Sounds to me like it must be you, old man. You've got guts, I'll give you that. Mr. Wright, do not leave me to handle this alone. Ha. Perhaps I can end this embarrassment. Mr. Godot. Let's just go back over Mr. Kudo's testimony one more time. The old man didn't see just the victim. Oh, no, no, no. Servant girl brought him a Javachino, but she put something in it. There's no question about it. She very conspicuously put some white powder in there. Was the victim he saw the real victim or not? That doesn't matter. The fact remains he saw the accused put the poison into the coffee. Yes, it was the waitress who poisoned the coffee. Very impressive, Mr. Godot. Waiting for my absence to launch your attack. Ha. Found your pen at last, Trite. It was in my pocket. But anyway, Mr. Kudo witnessed two people that day. He saw the victim, the supposed Mr. Glenelg, and the waitress from behind. Yes, your point, Mr. Wright? I think the conclusion is obvious. If this Glenelg was really the killer in disguise, then surely it's possible the waitress was also part of the show. What? You mean the waitress was an imposter as well? The defendant, Miss Bird, fell unconscious immediately after the incident. And someone used her fainting to hatch an elaborate plan to pin the murder on her. And we've already established that Armstrong dragged her into the kitchen. Who on earth was it? Who was the waitress that Mr. Kudo witnessed? And yeah, we already... Yeah, because she was like, that's why I had to help him. Who was this woman? Her name is Viola Cadaverini. She's an employee of Tender Lender. You was making a big mistake. Do you know who Violetta's grandfather is? You better be going home in an armored truck tonight if you know what I mean. Stop shaking, Nick. Where was I? Yes, the defendant, Miss Bird, has stated the following. Well, when I took the coffee over to the victim's table, it's true there was another customer in the restaurant. She was sort of creepy. She had a kind of cackling laugh. There are just too many contradictions in this case. The second man at the victim's table who nobody but Miss Bird seems to have seen. The earpiece worn by the victim in his left ear when that eardrum was ruptured. And the radio show he was supposedly listening to half an hour after it was over. There's only one logical explanation that clears up all of these contradictions. The whole incident took place twice, once for real and once for show. And Mr. Furio Tigre, the only person who could have committed the crime, was you. Witness? What have you got to say? That's cute. Sorry? You's alright. I could do with a guy like you around. What do you mean? Okay, I'm in on this game. I'm gonna have to charter a jet to get me to my meeting now, but I'm gonna give yous one more thing to think about before I go. Something to think about? You's got it all wrapped up nice, huh, right? But you's missed out on one real important thing. That can't be. I was in the joint that day. And I met that kid too. But I couldn't have poisoned him, you see? What? Do you really expect us to believe you now, Mr. Tigre? Ha. What a troublemaker. Troublemaker? Looks like we're going to need another one for the road. One more steaming cup of hot testimony. Indeed. Ooh, I can go for some hot chocolate right now. I'm gonna make some after this is oh, we're out of milk. I mean, yeah, I can do it with water, but ew. Anyway, I'll give you one more chance to testify. What happened that day at Trade Bien between yourself and the victim? Ties to the victim. Yeah, I loaned Elk cash, about $100,000. That day, he was due to have a little chat, or we was due to have a little chat. The kid had hit his payback date, see? So anyway, he tells me he's got no way to pay up. I'm about to flatten the guy when he starts screaming. Yes, I won, $500,000. He got lucky and, you know, real lucky. If that waitress hadn't done what she done, everything would have been over. Now, I see that the principal amount you loaned to Mr. Elg was $50,000. Yeah, well, you just got the VIG to take into account. Interest builds up fast, you know. That's faster than fast. $100,000 is twice this principal. And the repayment deadline was December 3rd, the day of the incident in question. Yeah, he was one lucky kid. He got that $500,000 just in time. So I had no reason to kill the kid. If I ain't got no motive, you ain't got no case. His motive? He has to have one, but what is it? Huh. Not where I thought we'd be going with the motive thing. This does seem fishy because he could have just given the ticket to the tiger right then and there. And then we wouldn't have... I don't know, this just seems real fishy. Because you still would have been at the table then, and the ticket wouldn't have been able to have been found on Maggie. Any tips here, Maya? Tiger was meeting Glenn Elk to get his money back. Mr. Elk had just given him the lottery ticket. That would have been the end of it. Yeah, so what's the Tiger's motive? This is the big one. If I don't manage to undermine this testimony, it's all over for us. Why would he have to poison Mr. Elk? And why did he loan him the money in the first place when he knew he couldn't repay him? Because he knew about MC Bomber, but... taking a chance and pressing? Did he have any way of paying the loan back? Fool was a gambler. He said he couldn't give it up till he landed a big win. So I agreed to help him. Help him? You? I kept hitting him with ideas for ways he could get a big win. But the guy kept losing. So you were helping him for his sake. Or yours. Win through compromise. Yous help me, I help yous. What's the difference, huh? I don't believe this. Nick, would anyone really ever loan money to someone they thought was unreliable? No, banks don't do that. Like, for example, if it were you, I'd only loan you $5 max. Thanks a lot, Maya. Okay, this might be considered irrelevant because we've already established that, so no, I won't press. How much did he have left on his debt? You wanted in round figures? About $100,000. That's the whole amount. We're talking about a guy who had 58 cents in his wallet. What? He was telling me he wasn't even going to pay for the coffee. He certainly seems to have been a brave man, this Mr. L. That guy was smooth, I tell you, it's real smooth. You'll have your money in less than 5 minutes, that's what he says to me. The guy then calls me the Tender Tiger. He was skating on thin ice with me. Was that because the guy won the lottery? Was his last chance at a big win? You can confirm that this is the ticket in question. That's it. The Millionaire Radio Show starts at 1:30 p.m. and runs for 10 minutes. That fixes the time you two met with some accuracy. And the whole scene was acted out again 30 minutes later. Also that Mr. Kudo would see it. I can still see the kid's face now. I ain't never gonna forget it. $1,000,000. He got lucky, you know, real lucky. Was there anyone else in the restaurant at the time? I don't remember. If there was no one there, I'll wear that ridiculous tiger shirt for a month. Mr. Armstrong, Maggie, and if I'm right, Viola Cadaverini were all there at that time. So the victim had intended to repay you from his lottery winnings from the beginning? Seems that way to me. But you wouldn't normally expect to win the lottery, would you? Ha. The undying belief that your next roll will end the worst losing streak you ever had. That's what defines a true gambler. It makes it sound so cool. Don't be tempted, Nick. You haven't got the willpower for it. All I know is the kid took a shot and he got lucky in the end. The waitress, you mean? The girl with the glasses in the defendant's chair. Who else could I mean? If she hadn't gotten away, things would have been bada bing bada boom over and done with. Maybe I should push a little on this. Ooh, which one though? Which one though? Which one? Because with this, he'll just say, like, oh, he could have just given me the money. Let's ask about what Maggie did. What exactly are you implying the defendant did? But you go ask Four Eyes about that $500,000 ticket. She wanted it so bad, she poisoned Elk's coffee. A likely theory. Your word hasn't held water lately, Mr. Tigre. Objection. Let's not forget that this witness was actually at the scene, Trite. The law don't exactly agree with some of the deals I send down. I couldn't be there when the cops showed up, so I split. I see. Your Honor. Witness's last few statements are worth a good 2 cups of coffee. Crusoe alert? Oh. Something about social distancing. Okay, yeah, I have no problem with that. Haha! Social anxiety. I concur, Mr. Godot. You'll amend your testimony accordingly, witness. Hahaha. So that's what you was after, Phoenix, right? Thanks to what she did, my business with that kid was over. The Tiger's trying to pin the crime on Maggie. If I ask him about what he saw, it's only going to damage our case. What do you mean things would have been over and done with? You was all there or what? I'm talking about the cash. I was there to get my 100,000 bucks back. That's all. I'm a businessman. It was all coming together before that waitress got in the way. As far as I can tell from the witness's testimony, other than recouping his loan, Mr. Tigre had no motive for killing the victim. Well, Mr. Wright, are you happy with the testimony, or would you like it amended? Have it amended. I'm not going to get anywhere with the testimony as it stands. Your Honor, the defense would like the testimony amended. Very well. Witness, you will amend your testimony to reflect your recent statements, please. $100,000. They have no other reason to kill the guy. But it was $500,000. I mean, even if, you know, like, yeah, okay, $500,000. The ticket was $500,000. But know what else was $500,000? Shit, no, that was a full $1,000,000. So that means where do we know the worth of MC Bomber? Because I know it was given. Potentially worth millions. Oh. No other reason. Safety save. Because this statement right here is definitely I'm going to present on this. But I want to be careful because I do not have a lot of health. I hope I don't get penalized for pressing. Are you saying you had no other motives that day? Yeah, so what? Then why didn't you take the lottery ticket when you left? What do you think? Because of Four Eyes over there? Because of Maggie? How about you go ask Four Eyes about that $500,000 ticket? She wanted it so bad. She poisoned Elk's coffee. Likely theory. Your word hasn't held water. Oh my god, we're going through this again. So this was actually at the scene. Yeah, okay, we're going through this again. Okay. Alright. So yeah, they have a little roundabout here just in case. Okay. And yeah, just gonna go through this. No reason. But even still, 500,000 is going to be, you know, like a nice chunk for $1 million medical bill. Oh, okay, it's correct. All right. So you just intended to get back the $100,000 Mr. Elg owed you, correct? I loaned the guy the cash, so that's my right. Unfortunately for Mr. Elg, $100,000 wasn't enough to cover it, was it? Huh? About 6 months ago, you were involved in a traffic accident, weren't you? An accident involving a car and a scooter in which a young woman was injured. She was taken to the hospital where she underwent surgery. Where did you get all this info? These medical papers document the treatment of the young woman in question. According to these, her operation cost $1 million. Payment for these expenses was due in December of last year and was paid in full. $1 million? Preposterous sum! Someone should sue these HMOs. Ah, man. You have no idea, Judgy. You have no idea. Ha! No one would pay a bill like that. If the medical association got wind of it, the hospital would end up as dead as a morgue. Oh, Godot. You have no idea. You have no idea. American healthcare sucks. But Mr. Tigre had no choice but to pay, because his very life depended on it. Oh, he actually looks like a little tiger when he does that. Like when his face is to the side. Well, order. You say his life depended on it, Mr. Wright? Indeed it did. Solely because the injured woman was none other than Viola Cadaverini. Did you say Cadaverini? Bruto Cadaverini, mob boss in charge of all underworld activities in this city, and doting grandfather to his precious Violetta, also known as Viola Cadaverini. Your life was in danger unless you paid compensation to the boss, correct? It makes sense. You were desperate to acquire that $1 million Cadaverini demanded of you. So desperate, in fact, that you decided to sacrifice Glen Elg's life to pay your debt. Order! What do you say to that, witness? It's a nice little fairy tale, trite. But even if the witness did need $1 million, that doesn't tie him to Mr. Elg's murder. Mr. Elg only owed him $100,000 and had no hope of repaying it anyway. Yeah, that guy wasn't worth my spit. I don't think so. In fact, the opposite is true. The opposite? Lending money with no hope of ever seeing repayment would normally be bad for business. But in this case, the very fact that Glen Elg had no way to repay the money is crucial. What? Do you know where you're going with this, Nick? You gotta think outside the box, Maya. Outside the box? It's very straightforward. Mr. Tigre wasn't after the $100,000 at all. It seems you have a logical conclusion for this theory, Mr. Wright. Would you care to share it with us? What exactly was Mr. Tigre after? Yeah, I was ready for this. Glen Elg was a programmer, a highly skilled programmer. That skill was the collateral Mr. Elg put up in order to borrow the money. Care to explain how skill can be used as collateral to secure a loan, Trite? He had the skill to create a computer virus, and so he did. A virus known as MC Bomber. A computer virus? What does one of those do? Computer virus is a program that wreaks havoc on the insides of a computer. A computer? What does one of those do? I guess the beard isn't the only part of his honor that is from the Stone Age. Okay, boomer, I'll explain it to you later. Right now, this is the important point. A virus like MC Bomber would be worth several $1 million on the black market. Mr. Tigre, you couldn't have cared less about the $100,000, isn't that right? All you cared about was one thing, the virus. On the day of the murder, Mr. Tigre's sole intention was to get his hands on this CD. Glen Elg had no way of paying back the $100,000, and Mr. Tigre knew it. But then a miracle happened. The kind that Mr. Tigre would prefer to say never happened, but he can't. Neither can I. The lottery win? Exactly. At the 11th hour, Mr. Elg won $500,000 on the lottery, which left Mr. Tigre with no way of getting his hands on the all-important CD. At least, no legitimate way. So he resorted to illegitimate means. That's crazy. He murdered Glen Elg and then made his next move, to frame Maggie Bird for the crime. Mr. Tigre posed as Glen Elg, while Viola Cadaverini played the role of Miss Bird. And then they reenacted the whole thing in order to establish a witness. The witness being the one we all heard testify yesterday, Mr. Victor Kudo.
Objection.
Like I said, Trite, that's crazy. No one could pull off a stunt like that. For starters, there's no way the chef could have been kept out of it. We established that he was! Yeah, Mr. Armstrong knew all about it. Have you forgotten already, Mr. Godot? Mr. Armstrong owed the witness money too. $500,000, in fact. He had no choice but to go along with Mr. Tigre's plan. Order! Order! Silence or I will clear the courtroom! Uh-oh. Just put on a good show, Spiky. If you want to stay alive in the loan shark business, you gotta be careful. You saying I dressed up like the kid, create a witness, and frame someone? If I did something crazy like that, I'd leave a trail as bright as my shirt. I ain't dumb enough to do something sloppy like that. I agree. What? Despite your appearance, you are very careful. That's why you took one more precaution. One more trick to make sure Miss Bird had no way out. What? Another one, Mr. Wright? Interesting. Why don't you fill us all in, Trite? What was the trick you say Mr. Tigre performed to frame the accused? Okay, I know exactly what this is, but I don't know what to present. Well, no, okay, alright. Well, no, let's go with the magazine clipping. The silence was killing me. And what's the relevance of that, Trite? It's just a little intro. No! What are you? No! What? It was the fucking... Oh my god, I had to present the badge, huh? You sons of... Oh my god, when was the last time I fucking saved? So I had to present the badge. Because I thought it'd be like, okay. Because that found her guilty. That is the... Oh, okay. But that is the final thing that he would need for her to be found guilty. But fine, I'll go back and present the badge. Jesus Christ, how far back am I? Oh god, okay, it's not that bad, but still. Okay, back here. Of course, okay. I take umbrage to this one. I think either one would have been fine, but okay. Like, it could have just been a roundabout thing, like where you select one and then would have to present the other to back it up, but okay. It is what it is. One moment, please. And back. What on earth is that? What an insult to think anyone could be fooled by such a childish imitation. About that. Consider yourself insulted, Your Honor. Mr. Tigre. You didn't just pose as the victim on the day in question. A month ago in this very court, you posed as me. What? That's the truth. But the witness looks nothing like you, Mr. Wright. Although, now that I think about it, it was you, wasn't it? No doubt it was you, standing in here this very court a mere month ago. Phoenix Wright, who put up the most disreputable, shabby defense I have ever seen.
Objection.
Can you prove that, Gramps? Prove the attorney who represented the accused here a month ago was this man? Are you prepared to take the stand and testify that it was him? Hey. Forget about it, yeah? I wouldn't do something like that. Not me. You made a mistake, right? It was someone else, huh? He's trying to be nice. Have you no pride, sir?
Objection.
This isn't a matter of pride. In case you didn't know, Trite, Here in court, we deal with people's lives. Mr. Godot is right. Your Honor? Speaking for myself, I am absolutely convinced. The attorney in question was the witness standing before me now. However, I preside over this court as the judge, with the vested power to hand down a verdict. Someone in my position cannot be swayed by memory without evidence to support it. At least he has integrity, I will give him that. If the defense has no further evidence, the court will now excuse the witness. Circumstances surrounding Mr. Tigre are dubious for sure, but not conclusive. But we've come so far. You say he impersonated Glenelg, you say he impersonated you. But none of that adds up to a murder charge. You don't have a shred of evidence that the witness poisoned the victim's coffee. Ha! Sucks to be you, Wright. Don't mess with the tiger. You're gonna get mauled, you's got that. All he managed to do here was chase him around a bit. I was so close to getting him to admit his own guilt. Ha. Looks like I won't be needing a refill. If I had just one more piece of evidence, and maybe I could get Maggie off the hook. This witness's cross-examination is over. You're free to go, Mr. Tigre. Come on, Gumshoe. There we go. Your Honor, sir. They actually made a CG for this? Wait. Detective Gumshoe. Sorry it took so long, pal. I staked everything on this. My badge. It works. So here it is. Hearts count on this too. What is it, Detective? Isn't it obvious, pal? It's the final decisive piece of evidence. What? Oh, we serious now. I finally got the results from the lab. Results? About the prints, pal. In this medicine bottle. Oh, so do you know who the prints belong to now? Do you think I'm some kind of hack detective? Of course I know. So, tell us. They're the tigers, right? I knew it. Yeah, you bet. Clear as crystal, all over the bottle. Inferior Tigre's paw prints, alright? That's great. Got him now, Nick. What's wrong with you? You've hardly said a word since Detective Gumshoe got here. He's laid everything on the line for this, Nick. I know. Look, I'm sorry. This is kind of hard to say, but it really doesn't make any difference whose prints are on that bottle now. Huh? What? Why not? What we need to produce at this stage in the trial is irrefutable evidence that the tiger put poison in Glenelg's coffee. He's already admitted that he met the victim. The fact that his prints are on this bottle, that really doesn't make any difference now. Knew it. Great. No matter how hard I try, I'm never of any use. Hey, don't be so hard on yourself. This is our last chance to help Maggie. I've been working on some useless piece of evidence the whole time. It's alright. I'm a real loser. It's not breaking news to me, pal. Detective Gumshoe? Maggie! You've been working on something for me? Sorry I let you down, Maggie. I know you didn't do it. I'm a detective. We're supposed to be able to prove stuff like that. Really sorry. I'll get out of your hair now. Detective Gumshoe, wait! He's gone. Isn't there anything we can do now, Nick? Wish there was. Gumshoe worked so hard to get that evidence. If only there was some way I could use it. We're still holding on to it, though. Huh. Okay. Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor. I granted you a recess so you can prepare this decisive evidence you've discovered. Yes. Don't keep us all in suspense, Trite. Show us. Naturally. We can assume it's evidence that will actually stand up in court, can't we? Think, Phoenix. Don't let Gumshoe's hard work go to waste. Much more of my time you was gonna waste. I ain't been in no court before. But you's lawyers sure know how to blow things out of proportion. No doubt, given the nature of the evidence, it will speak for itself. Nevertheless, you will talk us through it, Mr. Wright. Well, I know I can't prove anything new with this evidence. I'm really backed into a corner here. But maybe if he thinks he's got me beat, he'll let his guard down a bit. Don't keep us waiting any longer, Mr. Wright. Present this final decisive piece of evidence to the court. This is the defense's final piece of evidence. Isn't that the victims? Your Honor, naturally the court is already aware of the contents of this bottle. However, interesting new information has come to light. We have clearly identified some fingerprints on it. Fingerprints belonging to you, Mr. T. Gray. What? But, Mr. Wright, what conclusion are you hoping to draw from this new information? Everyone in here knows what this bottle contains. Except one man. One person in this courtroom should theoretically be in the dark. My prints are on that pansy-looking bottle? Is that what you saying? Well, what the hell's in it anyway? A phony trial, a phony lawyer, and phony clues. Everything about this case has been phony. Seems like the perfect excuse for some phony evidence. OMG. OMG. Third Danganronpa game was all about lies? Could it be that the third trial in the third Phoenix Wright game is going to be about lies as well? Also, I can't go to the pause menu right now, so no safety save for me. Oh no. Alright, well, seems a perfect excuse for some phony evidence. Mr. T. Gray, this is the decisive piece of evidence that will prove your guilt. Read it. Do. Because I'm not starting over from the beginning, or from where I last saved. Why? Because it contains... This is straight up perjury. But fine. This is the bottle containing the potassium cyanide. Potassium cyanide? Poison used to murder Mr. Elg, Your Honor. The victim's killer used this very bottle. And on this bottle, Mr. T. Gray, we found your fingerprints. Well, how do you explain that? You make a good clown, you know that. What? Yous ain't never gonna get this to stick. Yous just making me laugh now. You think a cheap bluff like that's gonna fool the tiger? A bluff? I see straight through you, Phoenix Wright. That ain't the bottle with the cyanide in it. No. This is the bottle we found traces of the poison in. Are we gonna get him like that Judge Judy trial? Like, it's an infamous one where, like, it started off with, like, okay, because essentially the plaintiff was this girl, said these two guys stole her purse, and so the trial started with Judy asking her to, like, state what all was in the purse. She was like, oh, it was a phone and $20, and then one of the guys cut her off, was like, actually, Judge, there was no phone in that purse, and yeah, they got. Well, they got themselves, but yeah, they were dumb. So yeah, this might be similar to that. I don't know. Don't mess with the tiger. You want to get ripped to shreds. The cyanide bottle was brown. It was made of glass. That cheap piece of trash don't look nothing like it. Called it. Got him. At last. What? Why is everyone going quiet? I said that bottle. Is this the bottle you're referring to? Yeah, that's it. That's the bottle the cyanide was in. You weren't here for that part of the trial, though. But you ain't gonna find my prints on that bottle. Don't let that cozy-looking suit fool you people. That lawyer's just playing games. Tell him, Godot. Tell that guy where to go. You still haven't figured it out. Don't you realize what you just said? What I said? What'd I just say? You were summoned to this court for the first time earlier today. If you really had nothing to do with the murder, you shouldn't have known all the little details. For instance, you shouldn't have known what kind of bottle the potassium cyanide was in. But just now you slipped up in front of every single person in this courtroom. You described the exact bottle used by the killer to hold the poison. Got him. Yous don't know who you's messing with. I'm the Tiger. I control millions of dollars on the black market. Yous think I'm gonna let some jumped up suit get the better of me? Sure, the last piece of evidence was phony. But that's just what you deserve. Phony trial with a phony lawyer. It was all played out by you, the biggest phony of all. One flippin' moment. Missed the breakdown over some stupidity. Upsetting. Very upsetting. What's going on? Looks like a blackout. Well done, trite. I saved my 17th cup of coffee just for you. Savor it while you watch your cage prey. Right? You caught a tiger by his toe, but if this one hollers, he won't be let go. Prosecution will be sure to take care of Mr. Tigre, won't you, Mr. Godot? He is being arrested on suspicion of the murder of Glen Elk, Your Honor. Fortunately for us, we managed to rectify a very grave error. Miss Bird was found guilty in the absence of a genuine defense attorney. Yes, she was. And in the absence of genuine evidence. But the tiger made one mistake. Indeed. He very nearly got away with everything if it wasn't for that one slip of the tongue. Frio Tigre is a truly frightening criminal. Huh. The truly frightening one is that defense attorney over there. Godot. Well, I am now in a position to deliver my verdict. This court finds the defendant, Maggie Bird, not guilty. Woot. That is all. This court is adjourned. Well, that was fun. Aside from a couple mistakes here and there. Oh well. Mr. Wright, I'm at a loss for words. Thank you, sir. Congratulations, Maggie. I was so mad when Mr. Wright landed me in all that trouble a month ago. But now I feel like I can forgive him. Hey, that wasn't me, Maggie. That was the tiger. Look, Nick, in the doorway. Detective Gumshoe. Oh, guess I'll be heading off then. See you around, pal. Wait! Detective Gumshoe. Oh, yeah. Congratulations, Maggie. Thanks. I knew you were innocent all along. Why didn't you say that in your testimony then? Huh? Oh, well, Well, I guess I'll be heading off then. See you around. Wait up, detective. He just ran off. Maggie, why are you being so hard on him? He busted his butt for you. It's thanks to him that we got the medication bottle. It wasn't even of any use. Yes, it was. We just used it to... Okay. But it's only because Mr. Wright used it so cleverly. Detective Gumshoe was just running around in circles. Poor guy. Looks like she still isn't ready to forgive him. Can't you put in a good word for him, Nick? Yeah, Maya's right. I should help Gumshoe out. It's clear he needs it. Maggie? You know, Detective Gumshoe's been really worried about you through all of this. I wanted to believe that, sir. But on that first day of the trial, he practically gave the judge a free pass to lock me up. He didn't have any choice, Maggie. He's a detective. He had to report the facts. He doubted me, that's why. He thought I might have done it. I've got to prove to her that Gumshoe really cares about her. I know. I'll give her a little present to celebrate her freedom. We're going to give her the D. Here you are. A present to celebrate your freedom. But that's... A present from Detective Gumshoe, made with a ton of love. He said you lost weight and he was worried about you. Detective Gumshoe! I actually really like Wheaties. No. Okay. Did you guys hear that? I'm pretty hungry myself, you know. Yeah, the trial dragged on a bit today, didn't it? You're telling me as I look at the fact that this recording has been 3 hours and 33 minutes. Is it okay if I eat this now? So, how is it, Maggie? It's really good. Better than what Armstrong would fix? Okay, let's just stop before this gets out of hand. Oh no, I missed text. False allegations around Maggie have all been cleared up. And who knows? Maybe a whole new chapter of her life is about to start. That was a chapter. Alright, a brand new episode has been added. Turnabout Beginnings. So yeah, next time we're going to start the 4th chapter of Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Trials and Tribulations. However, going forward, the rest of this game, the final 2 chapters will be done in the HD version. Yeah, looking forward to seeing all the sprite changes and whatnot. Though I am going to miss hearing "Hold It, Take That," and "Objection" from my Wiimote. And just sort of the charm that like this version of the game has on the WiiWare. It's neat. But yeah, thank y'all for watching. Have a great day and see you next time for Chapter 4 of Let's Play Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Trials and Tribulations. Goodbye.